Good morning, happy Monday, and happy week ahead. Back again for the last week. Here's Mrs. Meenala Satyamurthy from Ekcel Academy, ready to start on with the revision of the crash course. Enrolled? Not yet? Do not worry. Do enroll for the crash course, and the link is found in the description. So what are we going to do today? Well, initially, I shall be discussing certain questions and then answering them. Purposefully, or at times, I have not given the MCQ so that we know it. And then I move on to question paper. So this will be the pattern this week. Unless and until there is a demand from someone, even better late than never, you can give it to me. Excuse me. So with that note, I move ahead with whatever is done. Yes. Yes, just wait till I zoom it a little. Yes. Yes, I just did a few questions, and certain questions that I did in the MCQ pattern, and the other questions that I did was just picked up. So I thought that could be of some help to you people at least, and it could revise your course. So with your exams fast approaching, this would be a big help, I pray and hope. The word management means providing goods and services, amount of money left over, involves working at home, those in charge of running a business. So it's in charge of a business. What is CRISL? It's nothing but credit rating and information services of India Limited. Remember, credit rating and information services of India Limited. That is CRISIL. So in case you're asked, please know it. CRR is cash reserve ratio. CRR is cash reserve ratio. What is ED? ED is nothing but Enforcement Directorate. ED is Enforcement Directorate. ESOP, Employment Stock Option Scheme. So CRR is Cash Reserve Ratio. ED is Enforcement Directorate. ESOP is Employment Stock Option Scheme. CRISL is Credit Rating and Information Service India Limited. Please know these expansions. Exchequer means the treasury of the government. Exchequer refers to the treasury of the government. GDR, gross domestic product. GDP, sorry. Gross domestic product. That's the meaning of it. Now, IRDA, Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority. Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority. So CRR, Cash Reserve Ratio. ED, Enforcement Directorate. ESOP, Employee Stock Option Scheme. Exchequer, the treasury of the government. GDP, gross domestic product. IRDA, Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority. So that is the thing. Libel means defamatory material in recorded form as opposed from slander, which is oral. As opposed from slander, which is oral. So that is the meaning of LIBEL, libel. LIEN, line, the right to retain some asset till a claim is settled or a contractual obligation has been fulfilled. LIEN means the right to retain some asset till a claim is settled or a contractual obligation has been fulfilled. So I've done 10. I'll just revise the 10 with you first. Okay, the word management you're aware of. What is CRISIL? Credit Rating Information Services of India. Credit Rating Information Services of India. CRR, Cash Reserve Ratio. ED, Enforcement Directorate. ESOP, Employment Stock Option Scheme. Exchequer, the Treasury of the Government. GDP, Gross Domestic Product. IRDA, Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority. LIBEL means defamatory material in recorded form as opposed from slander, which is oral. LIEN means the right to retain some asset till a claim is settled or a contractual obligation has been fulfilled. NABARD, I think you must be aware of, National Agriculture Bank for Rural Development. National Agriculture Bank for Rural Development. NASDAQ means National Association of Security Dealers Automated Quotations. NASDAQ means National Association of Security Dealers Automated Quotations. Negotiable instrument, I'll come back to you. It is relating to bank. Perjury means making false statement under oath. Making false statement under oath. What is vanilla issue? A straight fixed rate issue which has terms and conditions usually accepted as being as conventional to a particular securities market. Okay, what is vanilla issue? A straight fixed rate issue which has terms and conditions and usually accepted as being conventional to a particular securities market. So let's repeat once again from the 11th one. Okay, NABARD, National Bank, National and Agriculture Bank for Rural Development. NASDAQ means National Association of Security Dealers Automated Quotations. What is Negotiable Instrument Act? I said it relates to the bank. I'll get back to you on that. Perjury means making false statements under oath. What is vanilla issue? A straight fixed issue which has terms and conditions usually accepted as being conventional to a particular securities market. Now that was from the last chapter that I had picked up because there were only words and definitions from the last chapter. Now, WWW means World Wide Web. WWW means World Wide Web. Now, HTML, Hypertext Markup Language. HTML, Hypertext Markup Language. HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So, HTML is nothing but, this is HTML. Now, this is nothing but HTTP. Hypertext Transfer Protocol, which you write in the link when you write the address. www.2/ then HTTP, it's a colon, and you write the link. So that is the thing it has to be. Name some of the popular web browsers. Now, the internet is a network of networks, none of the above, a network of networks. E-correspondence is commonly known as electronic or correspondence. Who was the first to demonstrate the use of email system? It was Massachusetts Institute of Technology in the year 1965. What was it known as? Mailbox. The first to demonstrate the use of the email system was in the year 1965 by MIT, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. And what was it known as? It was known as the mailbox. Email addresses can also be attributed to Tomlinson. Email addresses can also be attributed to Tomlinson. Now, he chose the @ symbol to provide an addressing standard in the form of user @ host. So that is the host. The host is either it could be Google or Yahoo or Hotmail or whatever it is. He chose the @ symbol to provide an addressing standard in the form of user @ host. The email in its improved form was used by the US military in 1974. So much of information. So in the year 1965, MIT commenced. It was known as mailbox. Email addresses can be attributed to Tomlinson. Tomlinson. He chose what symbol? The @ symbol to provide an addressing standard in the form of user @ host. Now in its improved form, it was used by the US military in the year 1974. HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So you must be aware of these words because these can be asked as MCQs. That's the thing. SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer. Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. POP, Post Office. Okay, now HTML, Hypertext Markup Language. HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Internet is a network of networks. E-correspondence, commonly known as electronic, the first to demonstrate the use of the email system was in the year 1965. By whom? By MIT. Expansion of MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. What was it known as? Known as the mailbox. Email addresses can also be attributed to Tomlinson. T-O-M, Tom, L-I-N-S-O-N. What did he choose? He chose the @ symbol to provide an addressing standard in the form of user @ host. Now, the email in its improved form was used by the US military in 1974. Now, SMTP is Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. POP, Post Office Protocol. Spam refers to unsolicited mails or junk. The word intra refers to within. You have internet, you have intranet too. BCC means blind carbon copy, similar to CC. CC is carbon copy, but the recipient of BCC is invisible to others. You may write the mail address of one, and then you can say CC. And when you say BCC, as the name sounds, blind carbon copy. Now this is invisible to the others to whom you have sent as BCC. So please remember, BCC is invisible to others. What does it mean? It means blind carbon copy. The word report is derived from the Latin word reporter. The elements of MIS are management, information, and system. The elements of MIS are management, information, and system. Office notes are exchanged between two departments. Dash letters must be written from viewpoint instead of IRV, business letters. Layouts are of two types, blocked and semi-blocked. Business letters are of two types, informal and formal. A common error is to use an apostrophe in YOURS. A dash is the printed stationery which carries the essential information of the company, and that is the letterhead. What does the letterhead contain? It contains the company logo, it contains the tagline, it contains the name and address of the registered office or the corporate office of the company. Company logo, tagline, name, address of the registered office. Company logo, tagline, name, address of the registered office. All this is found in the letterhead. The use of respected sir should be avoided. The use of respected sir should be avoided. The reference number helps in retrieving the letter at a later stage. The reference number helps in retrieving the letter at a stage. The conclusion of a letter is the polite rounding off. The conclusion of the letter is the polite rounding off. Report is derived from the word reporter. Elements of MIS are management, information, and system. Office notes are exchanged between two departments. You should write business letters must be written from viewpoint instead of IRV. Layouts of letter are of two types, blocked and semi-blocked. Business letters are of basically two types, formal and informal. A common error is to use apostrophe in yours. A letterhead is the printed stationery which carries the essential information of the company. A company logo, tagline, the name and address of the registered office or the corporate office of the company. All this is found in a letterhead. The use of respected sir should be avoided. The reference number helps in retrieving the letter at a later stage. The conclusion of a letter is the polite rounding off. This is so much rather just a small thing that I picked up from the books. Now, let me go on to the first question paper of the CSEET, wherein I would discuss. Please wait. If you've seen number of questions 35, duration in minutes 120. Okay, so let's start. Dash allows cumbersome knowledge to be maintained and easily accessed throughout the company using hypermedia and web technologies. It is web publishing. So please note, these are the ways in which your question could be asked. So MCQs are given and then you're asked to answer. Dash allows cumbersome knowledge to be maintained and easily accessed throughout the company using hypermedia and web technologies. Web publishing. If you have noticed, I too have picked up certain questions, but I have discussed it separately in a different manner. Now, this is the mock question paper, which has been discussed in this manner. Now, both of it combined together would be of great help. Both of this together would be of great help. So do not worry. You go through this. This also will help you. You go through this. That also will help you. Now, as I told you, all this may be 1 mark, but look at the way things are asked. Literally every chapter is touched upon. Now, when I was dealing with it before, I have touched upon this and I have touched upon determiners. Fill up the blanks by choosing the most appropriate option. There isn't dash water in the overhead tank. There isn't. That is a big clue. Isn't means nothing. There isn't any water in the overhead tank. Suppose it said there is, then you can say there is lot of water. Okay, you can't use little water. You can use little water, but remember little. This, let me explain. I'm muted. Okay. If you've seen the question, there isn't any water, it said. Okay, I also said any is correct. Remember why it is any. What is the clue here? Now you have isn't, which tells you is plus not. So this gives you a negative meaning. So you have to use only any. Now there you had little, you had lot of. Now remember, a little without any kind of article. For example, I'll write it down here. Little, a little, the little. So if it is a little means it has a positive meaning. If it is the means it has a definite meaning. And if it is no little, nothing here, it has a negative meaning. There isn't little water. No, there isn't. Already isn't is giving you a negative meaning. So you can't use again little. Please remember that. That's the way, that is why any is the right answer. You can't use little again because there isn't already here and you can't use. Moreover, little may be correct because it is used for uncountable nouns. This is the thing. So please be a little careful. So there isn't any water. Now, lot of is given. Lot of means there isn't lot of. No, there is lot of. It definitely has a positive meaning. So we can't use lot of, and hence only any becomes the right answer. So if you have is not, and if any is there, please use any because it projects a negative meaning. At the same time, little also gives you negative meaning, but because of isn't, which is there already here, is plus not, you can't use little. Little without an article gives you negative meaning. With a gives you positive meaning. With the gives you definite meaning. And little is used for uncountable nouns. So here, any is the answer. Sorry. This explained like this will help you better. That's the reason. Okay. Yes. There isn't something. No. Something, why it is not used? Something means it gives you a positive meaning. So that's why only any can be the answer. This is what I wanted to explain to you. Now, choose the most appropriate option for each of the following question. For parks, actually it's a French term. For parks means fake identity, social blunder, false, expected to happening. This, the meaning of this is this only, so no changes, and that will be the answer. Choose the most appropriate option for each of the following questions. To bury the hatchet. Now, it's an idiom, to bury the hatchet, to end a feud with an enemy. Feud is nothing but a fight, a bitter fight. So feud means that. Now, the next one. Oh, sorry. Yeah. In each of the following sentences, 4 words or phrases are underlined. If there is any mistake with regard to grammar or usage, it is in the underlined part only. Identify the incorrect part. You remember we had done this exercise when we had started our classes. And then I had told you that, and there was one line also, no error in the punctuation. Punctuation errors could be ignored. So here is very clear. If there is any mistake with regard to grammar or with regard to usage. Now let's see the question and analyze it. Evidently, our product is the most unique in the market. So evidently, our product is the most unique in the market. Evidently, so the wrong one is, he says, is B. So B is the wrong answer. There is a mistake with regard to its grammar or usage. So it is our product. It has to be in the whole thing. He's not comparing it to it. So therefore, it is wrong. That is the explanation here. Now, the next one. A dash is an evaluation or assessment or review of a particular event, issue, period, or a set of circumstances which is related to a business report. So that word business could give you a hint. So remember the definition of business report. What is business report? It's an evaluation, okay, of what? Of a particular event, okay. And how is it related to? It's related to business. You can also remember it. It's an assessment of what? Of a particular issue, period, set of circumstance, all related to business. It's a review, yes. Simple thing. When you attend a class, after which you're being asked to write a report, you're writing the report of the class, and that is the report. What happened? So this is nothing but it's an evaluation or an assessment, you can call it, or a review of a particular event, you could say, and then it is related to business. Find out the appropriate meaning of the given word from the choices given below it. Thesaurus, argument, book of synonyms, flush-eating dinosaur, roadmap. Thesaurus is a very common term, very commonly knows. It is nothing but a book of synonyms. For example, if you go to any kind of thesaurus, and if you look for the word option, the synonym could be choice, so many things. If you could look for the word direction, there could be so many other things. System, legal. So like that, literally for every word, you have so many other meanings attached to it. So Thesaurus is a book which is nothing but a book of synonyms. Unlike a dictionary, a dictionary will give you the meaning of the word. In brackets, it will tell you how to pronounce. It will also tell you whether it's a noun or a verb. It will tell you its meaning in the noun and the verb form. It will also tell you how it can be used differently, or whether there's no other usage. In some dictionaries, they even go into its origin, whether it's taken from Latin or Greek or French or whatever it is, this thing. But it doesn't give you synonyms. It doesn't give you synonyms. It doesn't give you an option for another word exactly meaning the same to it. It will tell the meaning of it in different contexts. So that's the major difference between a dictionary and a thesaurus. Moreover, in a thesaurus, it does not tell this can be used like this origin is like this is like this, nothing. So that's the difference. Now we have a passage. Before passage, any more questions? I will finish that and come to the passage according. Yeah, we'll finish this and come back to the passage. Choose the most appropriate option for each of the following questions. Ab initio means in continuation with, in defense of a comment, from the beginning, in connection with the future, from the beginning. Dash is used to find, retrieve, and display information available on the World Wide Web. It's the web browser. Noise is a dash barrier to communication, physical barrier to communication. The purpose of MIS is to allow management by exception to report organization performance to shareholders, to prepare future plans for short and long-term basis, all the above. So the answer is all the above. Now, fill up the blanks by choosing the most appropriate option. I like journals dash novels. Now, I like reading journals dash novels. You have more than, most than, the less than, the best. Now, let me tell you something here. So it said, I like reading novels dash journals. Now, how many things are compared? 1, 2. So when two things are compared, you have to use the comparative degree only, comparative degree. Now, when you use this comparative degree, if than is given here in the question, it's fine. If it's not given, looking for the choices where you can see THAN given. Only that will be the answer. And look for the adjective before than. This adjective before then should be in the comparative degree. Should be in the comparative degree. Much, more, most, little, less, least, good, better, best, well, better, best, okay? And then tall, taller, tallest, short, shorter, shortest, difficult, more difficult, most difficult. So you should have than. If it's not there in the question, go for the choices, look up if THA and than is there. Purposefully to confuse you, they may give you two adjectives with than. See what will be the right answer by looking at this adjective. That is very important when you analyze these answers. Okay, so it says, now I told you, no, purposefully they will give you two with than in order to confuse you. Look at the choice. More than, most than, the less than, the best than. Here you should remember with most you cannot get THAN because most is already in the superlative degree. The best cannot come, that is also in the superlative degree. You have more than and less than. I like reading journals, the less than. One more thing. Now, than is okay, it's correct. Now, less is also okay because it is the comparative, little less, least. But here they have used THE. With a comparative degree, you will not get THE before. Whereas with a superlative degree, you will get THE before. And remember, so this will not be the answer. The only option that you have here is more than. I like reading journals more than novels. Only two things are compared. So it has to be in comparative. Here, than is not given in the answer, which means you have to go to the option where THAN is. I'm just telling you how you will eliminate, how you will see the right answer, the process of checking out, and you're sure of your mark. THA and than you will go into. And if you look into the choice, there are three places where THA and than is given. Now, if THA and than is given in three places, how do you eliminate all the three? You can't use most because most is superlative degree. So gone. Now, less than, less is comparative. But the biggest mistake here is the. So you will not have the before a comparative, whereas you'll have the actually. Remember, when you pronounce it before a superlative, THE should be pronounced as the best, the largest, the most difficult, the most interesting, the tallest, the shortest, the longest. So it is the best. So the best cannot come. The less than we never say. We don't add the and we don't add than. So the only answer is more than. You're sure of your answer. You're sure of your mark. That is the thing. So next. Dash is a global network of networks. Internet. Memo, report, office order, circulars, graphs, charts, staff newsletter, email are all examples of written communication. Fill in the blanks by choosing the most appropriate app option. They always give the available seats to dash comes first. Whichever comes first can never be used because which is used with, not used with human beings. Whom comes first? No. Whomever comes first, whoever comes first. So they always give the available seats to whoever comes first. A letterhead contains the following. I just now told you. Company logo, name, address of the registered office or the corporate office, contact numbers, all of the above, all of the above. So that's the thing. Choosing the most appropriate action again. Option, sorry, not action. A fire broke out. Fire always broke out. It's not broke away. It's you break away from something. So it's not broke off, it's broke from. No, it always breaks out only. A fire broke out in the neighborhood. This is a prepositional phrase. It's always broke out. Now, this is something. Choose the most appropriate option for each of the following questions. Amicus curiae means one among the expert witnesses in a case. It could mean a friend of the court. It could mean one among the parties of the dispute. It could mean one of the judges of the court. It's a friend of the court. A communication should be so clear, so that the recipient can understand what the sender really wants to communicate. Denotes which principle of communication. The 7 C's. Concise means brief. Correct means relevant. Consideration means you are showing some sort of consideration. I said, no, you cannot demand and order a product today and demand it for tomorrow. So it is clarity. Should understand. When I get your email, and if you send an email to me or to your boss, he should clearly understand what the email contains. It is clarity, the 7 C's. And then remember, that is why prepositions, articles play a great role. They can just change the meaning of the whole sentence. And we just cannot follow whosoever receives it. A communication should be clear so the recipient can understand what the sender really wants to communicate. Denotes which principle of communication? It's principle of clarity. So that you should remember. Dash is the fall in the value of the fixed or the movable asset due to wear and tear of passage of time. No discount, no depository, no deposit. It is depreciation. Find out the meaning of the given word from the choices given below it. Treason, insult, betrayal, campaign, desecrating. It's betrayal. Choose the correct spelling. Look how nicely they have literally given every little thing. Okay, accommodation, accommodation. So you have ACCOMMODATION. Now here comes our most important thing. Read the jumbled passage carefully. Pick up the option in which the best sequence is shown. Let's read it slowly. The super tax scanner could revolutionize the way people shop, virtually eradicating supermarket queues. The face of retailing will change even more rapidly when the fiber optic networks being built by cable TV companies begin to be more widely used. The scanner would have a double benefit for supermarkets, removing the bottleneck, which causes frustrations to most customers and reducing the number of checkout staff. An electronic scanner, which can read the entire contents of a supermarket trolley at a glance, has just been developed. Wow. So in the four that I read out, if you should be able to identify which could be the first one, it will be a fourth one. An electronic scanner has been introduced. What is so important about this electronic scanner? It could revolutionize the way people shop, virtually eradicating supermarket queues. So, what benefit it would have? Benefit for supermarkets, removing the bottleneck which causes frustration and reducing the number of checkout staff. And the last, the face of retailing will even more change rapidly when the fiber optic networks being built by cable TV companies begin to be more widely used. So jumbled up paragraph is a short question. Please be very cautious. First and foremost, here you will have to go through all the four, identify the first one, identify the next, and in the order. So the option is B, which says 4132. That is the answer. If you want, you can leave this till the last without attending. Choose the correct spellings in options given below. Gallows, gallows, gillows, and kellows. Gallows. Communication, where messages are communicated through body language, that is facial and gesture expressions, is called non-verbal. Very simple, non-verbal. So, yes, an agreement between parties in order to create legal obligations under a seal are for a consideration and enforceable by law is called contract, collateral, consortium, consignment. Consignment, is goods. Consortium is a group of countries which meet or something. Collateral security, it cannot be. So it's a contract. Now, again, you see, in each of the following sentences, 4 words or phrases are underlined. If there is any mistake with regard to grammar or usage, it is in the underlined part only or identify, the incorrect part. The most difficult job is to bend and then lifting the weight. So see, and then lift the weight, and then to lift the weight. So the most difficult job is to bend and then lift the weight. Lifting is wrong. That is the answer. You don't have to worry which one is the correct. Which of the following protocol is used by web? HTTPH, HTTM, HPPT, HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol. I told you whenever you write www and then you write :/HTTP in small letters. So that is the thing. Any deleted mail is put in the trash folder. Unsolicited mail is in the spam. The vertical network is usually between the firm and the customer, teacher and the student, subordinate, superior subordinate. It is vertical, remember, it is superior subordinate. So 35 questions. Now we have to go back to the comprehension passage. Have you seen the length? The length will be quite a bit. Now, it's a passage and it may be slightly on the higher level of English. So we will have to do it. We cannot leave it. So just briefly reading it through and then scanning the questions. For you, it may be difficult to read through it because of your tension. So do everything, come back to the para jumbles, come back to the comprehension in the end, taking care to keep insufficient time for this. That's the best way you can solve this. Now, it says, read the given passage carefully and choose the most appropriate option to the questions. I'm only reading for your benefit because it will probably, the sound of the words may help you. First thing. Secondly, such similar words, even if it comes across, you'll be able to answer. Now, if it's an exam, please don't sit and read the whole paragraph. First, straight away scan the question and search for it. Now, being so lengthy, I'm just doing that help for you. Otherwise, there is no need. Please, please don't follow my method. Yeah, for this is only as a practice meant for you people. I'm being very clear cut over here. There is no second thought, no second doubt. So World Trade Organization created in 1990s as a component of Uruguay round negotiation. It could have been negotiated as a part of Tokyo's in 70s, since negotiation was a constitutional reform of the GATT. It could have been put off as the government wanted. What factors led to its creation in 1990s? First factor, pattern of multilateral bargaining that developed late in the Uruguay round. Like all complex international agreements, the WTO was a product of a series of trade-offs between principal actors and groups. For the United States, which did not want a new organization, the disputed settlement part of the WTO package achieved its long-standing goal of a more effective, more legal dispute settlement system. For the Europeans, who by 1990 had come to view GATT dispute settlement less in political terms, add more as a regime of legal obligations, the WTO package was acceptable as a means to discipline the resort to unilateral measures. See the complexity of the passage. See the complexity of the passage. Do not worry, don't read. I'm only reading for your benefit so that such kinds of sounds could in turn help you a lot. That's all. Countries like Canada and other middle and smaller trading partners were attracted by the expansion of a rule-based system, by the symbolic value of a trade organization, both of which inherently support the weak against the strong. The developing countries were attracted due to the provisions banning unilateral measures. Finally, perhaps most important, many countries at the Uruguay round came to put a higher priority on the export gains than on the import losses that the negotiation would produce, and they came to associate the WTO and as a rule-based system with those gains. This reason, replicated in many countries, was contained in the US ambassador's Cantor's defense of WTO, and it announced to a recognition that international trade and its benefits cannot be enjoyed unless trading nations accept the discipline of a negotiated rule-based environment. A second factor in the creation of the WTO was pressure from lawyer and legal process. The disputes settlement system of the WTO was seen as a victory of legalis, but the matter went deeper than that. The GATT and the WTO are contract organization based on rules. It is inevitable that an organization creating a further rule in turn will be influenced by legal process. Robert Hoodie has defined the momentum of legal development, but what is it precisely? Legal development can be defined as the promotion of technical and legal values of consistency, clarity, and effectiveness. These are the values for the ones who are responsible for administering any legal system will seek to maximize. As it played out in the WTO, consistency meant integrating under one roof the whole lot of separate agreements signed under GATT or species. Clarity meant removing ambiguities and powers of contracting parties to make certain decisions or to undertake waivers, and effectiveness means eliminating exceptions arising out of grandfather rights and resolving defects in dispute settlement procedures and institutional provisions. Concern for these values is inherent in any rule-based system of cooperation, since without these value rules would be meaningless in the first place, therefore create their own incentive for fulfillment. The moment of legal development has occurred in other institutions beside the GATT, most notably in the European Union. Over the past 2 decades, the European Court of Justice has consistently rendered decisions that have expanded incrementally the Europeans' internal market, in which the doctrine of mutual recognition handed down in Cassia de Dijon case in 1979 was a key turning point. The court is now widely recognized as a major player in European integration, even though arguably such a strong role was not originally envisaged in the Treaty of Rome, which initiated the current European Union. One means the court used to expand integration was the teleological method of interpretation, whereby the actions of member states were evaluated against the accomplishment of the most elementary goals set forth in the preamble of the Rome Treaty. The teleological method represents an effort to keep current policies consistent with slated goals, analogous to effort in GATT to keep contracting party trade practices consistent with slated rules. In both cases, legal concerns and procedures are an independent force. So this, I'll leave it at this point. Now tomorrow, when I start, I would start with the passage of this and then add more questions and then move on to the next paper. So again, a comprehension passage has been dealt with. Literally every day from the last 10 days, comprehension passages are dealt with for practice. So it's your bounden duty to please go through it. Still not registered? Better late than never. You can for the crash course. With this note, wishing you a happy Monday afternoon and a very happy week ahead. All the best for your forthcoming exams. Here's Meenala Satyamurthy signing off from today's class. Goodbye, good luck, good wishes until we meet again tomorrow at the same time for yet another lesson with questions of variety. So thank you so much. Have a great day, and any doubts, anything more to be done, any clarifications as you listen to the video, if something, please do let me know. We are available to help you. Do not feel embarrassed, but please ask whatever you can, because after this, I don't meet you. So utilize the opportunity and the benefit, courtesy Ekcel Academy. Thanks to Ekcel Academy for all their magnanimous efforts. God bless.